First time I saw Bill, I didn't know him. I walked into a club and he was playing with the lug nuts and he just blew me away.
On the guitar, Bill Hagen!
Bill and I go all the way back to first grade, to being 6 years old. I mean, I played in the Weevils with Bill, but it was always kind of Bill.
The most fun I had in my life, practically, I think, was playing music with Bill. It was like stealing, to get paid to actually do that.
It was just special, and doing the gigs with him was so fun because it was unpredictable, never the same. Never knew what you were going to play. Just show up with the amp and the bass and plug it in the wall and turn it on and go.
The gigs we did that paid the best and were the most rewarding were either up at the mountain or out the coast.
It could be, up the street here where everybody knew him, or it could have been up in Longview, Washington, where nobody ever heard of him. They all ended up being Billy fans.
Bill was always an adventure to be with. I can remember so many gigs, so many times playing with him. Almost everyone was really significant.
I was thinking about you while I was gone.
Billy was on a pretty tight budget at the time. And when he came into the studio, it was so fun and inspirational that I took that into account. He'd hand me $60 and I'd give him back 25 of it and tell him, have a nice day.
The Weevils None More CD took like 3 years to make, and Bill played probably, I counted one time, I think it was like 23 different instruments. All the money I got from gigging with Bill, I spent on the record, all of it.
I play my guitar and I love to sing. Listen to bells in the heavenly ring.
So we ended up doing a television show to promote the record. Billy played, he was great, and they had the horn section from the Boomer Band backing us up. This is Billy's Stratocaster that he played throughout all of his lug nut years in the 80s, and you can see how it's worn and everything. There's a story that he set it on fire once.
Billy could be quite abusive in his show. If I was a guitar, I'd be going, oh God, give me a break.
He threw this thing across the room at the Lion's Den in Vernonia, and it split in half. You can see in the back. And he's told me that when it got put back together again, it sounded better than it did before.
I only want to burn in desire. Let me stand next to your fire.
It was like 95. It was a year before the Packers won the Super Bowl, but they got to the NFL title and they were playing the Cowboys. And Klobos was there, his bass player from the Killing Floor. He was trying to egg Bill into a bet. Come on, Bill, you chicken, a bet. He goes, I don't want to jinx my team by betting money. And so, well, let's bet something other than money. And someone says, why don't you have the loser wear a dress at the next gig?
Stop acting so crazy.
It's a famous gig because Billy got all dolled up and looked like Lucille Ball and played great. And poor Tom had to wear a gunny sack.
He was a better musician than anyone I knew in Portland.
He's as good as anybody I've ever seen or heard. It was God-given. He could play any genre, any style.
He wasn't afraid to play a song from the soul. That's why nobody would ever forget him.
I haven't played with anyone in my 40-some years of playing that had his energy, his stage presence, his drive, and his versatility. He was a one-of-a-kind, this guy.
From Hendrix to the Stones to jazz to whatever, he could do it all.
I mean, you put any piece of music in front of him, you'd never seen it before, he could play it perfectly.
I was always impressed at how high of a level he played at.
He had the same passion that I do, that music was the most important thing about living.
He was the guy that never hit a bad note. There's probably no greater thrill than sitting in a local bar, drinking, and seeing this great-ass guitar player playing in front of you, and all of a sudden he just whisks up to your table, and either grabs your drink or sits down next to your girlfriend or, whatever.
I used to be so impressed by all the people I used to listen to on record, and you're playing with a guy who can play Hendrix, he can play Clapton, he can play Chuck, he can play Keith Richards. He's as magical as they are.
You just never know when you would get a real rush of energy out of Bill.
So that energy, that physicality, that then translated on the stage, full somersaults with a guitar. He would go out with his wireless on and clear off someone's table, stand on top of the table. He kept doing those athletic things on stage, night in, night out.
He had an energy that was undeniable. He wanted to play more jazz than he was playing rock and roll.
When you're playing with somebody of that caliber, it brings your level up.
I didn't really play very much at the time. I worked at it a lot, and he gave me a chance that nobody else would, and he hired me to play gigs with him. So I always be grateful to him for that. He was like my guru in that sense.
Hi, my name is Bill Hagen. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and I thought I'd do a guitar lesson on YouTube because it seems to be a real popular thing.
Bill was really good at teaching. You could have the talent and the ability, but to be able to explain it in a way that people could understand it.
Every day is a Saturday, a never-ending vacation. All my friends have got a job to do, and all we do is play.
He had a song called Every Day is Saturday, which was about being a musician. And I think that was his philosophy. He had his ups and downs, like everybody does, but he always seemed to be up.
Billy had fun. Fun. Billy had fun. I think he'd like to be remembered probably the way that he is being remembered, with, 250 people showing up at his memorial service.
He was loving. He was supportive. He was uplifting. I miss him.
He's very inspirational, and he still is. I'm sure he will be for the rest of my life.
So kind and receptive and supportive of people around him.
I remember him as an inspirational figure.
He and I will meet again in heaven, and we'll play in God's great orchestra.